Hello everybody and welcome to Chess Bootcamp. This is the smooth hour at whatever it is, 5. Wow, so you'll be pleased to know my headache has subsided after about 48 hours. Don't know what it was. I was somehow detoxing from New Year. But anyway, feeling much better. Thank you very much for asking. But it's still a pajama day, so I'm sitting here resplendent in my robe. So I've done absolutely bugger all today, other than lose at a lot at chess. So I've been playing 5+5 Blitz, okay? Because I knew that I wasn't on top form, and if I'm not on top form, I'm not going to play rated rapid games, right? Blitz is for fun, Blitz is for training, Blitz is for trying to just practice my openings and get into a game and then play some chess. Okay, that's all it is. It's for a laugh. And I've got a couple of games I want to share with you. I have a loss and I have a win. And bizarrely, I think my rating is down to something like 1225 or something now at Blitz. I've had so many losses, but it's interesting because I've been playing 5+5. And 5+5 is a very, very different beast to straight 5-minute Blitz with no increment, as I've discovered. And you need to play it more like rapid. So it's weird. So for me, I'm thinking that 5+5 is probably a better format, even though it counts as Blitz and counts towards your Blitz rating. I think it makes you play better chess than straight 5-minute where you've got a hard clock. Anyway, so to these games, pick of the day, or at least pick of the morning, because I've played about 30 or 40 games today, something like that. But it doesn't matter because this is play, this is for fun. So I've lost an awful lot, and this is possibly the worst of all. And it comes from the Caro-Kann, okay, straight up, fantasy variation with f3. And now my opponent wrong foots me with this e5 move. Okay, so I'm thinking probably if I take here, he takes here, I can trade queens, mess up his castling rights. Okay, now castling rights at this point in the game, when the rooks are really blocked in, yeah, on both sides, I think are more important maybe than later on in the game when the board's open and the rooks can come out anyway. Okay, so if you're going to trade queens, early on in the game, when you can still get your king safe and activate your rooks quicker, then that's a real benefit. Later on in the game, when, you know, maybe some minor pieces have been traded off, then I would imagine that activating your king and getting your king central is more important, and plus you're probably going to be able to bring your rooks into the game more easily. Okay, but early on in the game, I think if you can trade queens off, I think that's when it's more of an advantage. So interested to hear your thoughts on that. So I capture on e5, and he doesn't take here. He brings out his bishop. Now, there is quite a common move that we see in the London system, in the French very often, in many systems, which is Queen b3 or Queen b6 or both. And this is an interesting variation on it that I don't know, it just felt like it came as a surprise to me. Okay, so I looked at that and I thought, that's not a biggie, right? So I develop my bishop, my dark square bishop out to f4, defends this pawn, singed like a natural square, could come back here, we'll see. And now came a stunning blow. My opponent thought for 4 seconds, and then bang, Queen b6. Now, Queen b6 behind the Queen's bishop, it's the King's bishop, isn't it? So the King's bishop is the same colour as the Queen, yeah. Okay, so if you were white, it would be bishop c4 and then the Queen behind it, because Charlie has moved. Okay, so when Charlie moves, the Queen can come out to b6. And obviously, you know, bishops very often develop that way. So this is a problem. I'm already in the doo-doo. right? I've got 2 pieces looking at the knight on g1, plus I've undefended b2, and my opponent, who's rated under 1200, picked up on this. So I decide to try and go for the kill. Okay, I think let's, if he wants to proceed with this, I'll take a pawn, put him in check, try and do something. Okay, he just grabs the pawn with his bishop very calmly. I put my bishop here now, maybe threatening to take this and this. What does he do? Bishop to there, check. Right, there are only 2 legal moves. I have to move my king to d2 or e2. So here, and now it's checkmate. I'll move 8. Bang! Wallop. Ouch, my bottom. That really hurt. Okay. Now, I think, probably rather than this move, I think there were things that I maybe could have done. For example, but even like if I played the knight here, right? Check, I've got to come here. Then the queen can't come to either of these squares because it's guarded, one by the bishop, one by the knight. So I may have lived to fight another day at that point, but we'll see. But that's definitely one to remember. This queen-bishop barrage just somehow felt like a fresh idea to me that I'd never come across before. Anyway, so that was the loss, and this is one that I won. And I've a couple of people have picked up on this. I've had a couple of quite crushing wins recently, quite crushing attacks, where I've managed to get a lot of pieces, on my opponent's king. And I think this is one of those. So at this point in the day, I was 1295 in Blitz, and my opponent's 1357. And we have a Sicilian. And right now I am playing the closed Sicilian, leading to the Grand Prix. Okay. So here you might see d3 or knight to d6 or knight to c6. Quite often I'll move 2 and 3 or 3 and 4 in whatever order. Okay, yeah, 2 and 3. So here he doesn't play d6, but plays his knight in. And this is a move that I find happens a lot in the Grand Prix, and it can be a bit of a pain. So I develop my knight to f3 to ask the question, and he pushes a pawn. I develop the bishop, he pushes a pawn, I castle. Right, this knight is, it's in my side of the board. But it's not really causing me any headaches right now. I need to be careful that the queen's the only defender of that, for example. If he wants to take out my light squared bishop, that's fine. I'll just create a light squared pawn chain. Okay, so he brings out another knight, and now I go in. Okay, so I'm already thinking of just maybe prompting him to weaken his structure a little bit, but also I might choose to move my bishop and free up this square, bring my other knight around, we'll see. But the idea is just to throw all my junk at my opponent. Okay, now and then I have another idea, and I decide to bring my knight back, okay, after he's developed his bishop to there. And I can't remember the idea now. I think I just thought better of that knight move. Okay, so then he castles. Now I bring my bishop out to attack his knight. Oh yeah, so this is basically it. Attack the knight, there's only one defender, and I can win a pawn. Yeah, straightforward. So his knight retreats. He doesn't want to give up a pawn. And now queen e1. Very thematic move in the Grand Prix attack. The idea is you want to bring your queen to here, get your knight in, eradicate this guy, and go in and boom. Okay, starts some counterplay down the queen side. And I just figure a3, let's stop the knight from coming in here. Yeah, not too worried up there. Fianchetto's his bishop, kind of. And now I decide it's time to push through, break through. Let's bust some skulls. Okay, so he avoids the pawn attack, but he moves his knight now away from his king. Right, so there's a distinct lack of junk around his king. All his bits are over here, right? Kind of on the wrong side of the board. My bishops are kind of okay, but could be improved. This knight is obviously not doing much. So we trade off the knights, he recaptures with his pawn, and now he's kind of shut off this bishop a bit. And he's also just opened up, you know, for example, this square is now undefended. So, queen out to g3, with ideas maybe push the pawn, bishop here, you know, threatening mate, so he has to push and then loses his rook, okay? He pushes, just drop the bishop back, pushes again, and I push my pawn forward, right? You don't always have to, there doesn't always have to be a capture as soon as pieces are facing off against each other, right? So think about all the possibilities, and sometimes just a simple push. So this push now takes away this square and this square, key squares, and then maybe I'll be able to back it up with f5 and reinforce that pawn. And that just seemed to me like a much better move. So he pushes his pawn forward. Now my knight comes in, right? It's defended twice, attacked twice, so that's okay. And now, because what I really want to do, you know, the idea is get the queen somewhere on the h-file, get the knight here and in, right? But if I do that, queen there, knight there, you can just take my knight, yeah, and win a pawn. So it doesn't work that way around. So I go here first, and then the idea is maybe like queen here. And then he's got to do something, because I'm threatening mate, because the knight blocks that square. Okay, so you see. So the idea here is I'm still defending the knight. So move the knight in first, then the queen behind the knight. Okay, but he pushes a pawn now to attack my knight. So, options again, right? A lot of beginners would immediately go, oh no, my knight's under attack, I'd best get it the hell out of there, right? But I think the move that I found was preferable, very much preferable, okay? Move I played was, pause if you want to, knight f7. Defended by this pawn that I decided to advance a couple of moves earlier, and attacking the queen. And the queen can't go here, okay? Plus, look what else I'm attacking. This, whose only defender is not a defender, because it is pinned. Aha! So the queen moves, knight takes h6, check. Pawn cannot capture, it's illegal. Okay, so the king has to move, and the king can't stay there and he can't go there. So the king has only got two squares he can go to. King here, knight takes pawn, right? Offering the knight to the rook. Now, did I do that on purpose? Yes, I did. Okay, so now what I'm threatening is queen takes g7 checkmate. So this is forced. Rook takes. But then, what's my next move? Answers on a postcard. Queen h3, check. And fork on the rook. Rook can't block because queen just takes. So king has to move, and I've won the exchange as well now as a couple of pawns. Bishop comes into block now, but it's going to end in tears. Bishop h5, guarding these squares, also threatening this. Lots of ideas now. And this king is not going to last too much longer. Okay, oh no, my queen. Do we have to defend our queen as soon as it's attacked? No, not necessarily. Bishop f7, check. Check trumps any attack, right? Because you've got to get out of it. There's nothing you can do. And now, what's the king got? He's got two legal moves. Okay, so he either goes into the corner or along the back rank. Along the back rank he goes. Now, queen h7. The king is immobile, can't go either way because the bishop blocks those. So what can black do here, right, to prevent checkmate? g6, okay? It's a clever move, right? My queen can't go here because the knight covers it. My queen can't go here because now it's a discovered defense by the bishop. So clever move. However, it's short-lived because now f5, okay? And I'm simply threatening to take the pawn, push forward, right? Just, or even I could come here, I suppose. In fact, would that have been mate? Queen here, is that mate? No, bishop blocks. Anyway, I do this, and now he brings his bishop into here, Okay. Bishop takes g2, but now bishop to h6. And that's not checkmate, but the only legal move is this, and then queen takes or bishop takes, and it is mate. So a lovely, very satisfying, crushing finish there. Apart from that, it's been an extremely embarrassing day. You know, a handful of nice wins, but mostly just littered with blunders, really. So, you know, and it's okay. It's okay when you know that your brain has turned to mush. You might be ill. You might be, you know, fighting something off. You might be whatever, you know, depressed, or, you know, your energy's low for whatever reason. Don't play serious chess. Just play chess for fun. Go on Lichess, right? Go on Chess Kids, right? Chess Kid, which is chess.com's alternative for kids, and there's no chat on there. You just go in, pick a random game, and play some kid. And you can set yourself up on there. My wife did it when she was learning. She got it, stuck it on the iPad, and I just went on there the other night. It was just a bit of fun, you know. That's the thing. It's a game. It's meant to be fun. Let's enjoy it. So I've tried to enjoy it today, right? And I've enjoyed losing, and you know, spotting my mistakes and seeing how I can improve. But yeah, it's just not a serious day, and that's absolutely fine. So there you go. A couple of interesting games, but I think in particular, I think in the first game, the idea of that Queen Bishop barrage, somehow it's not in my thought process. So I really want to remember that and start looking out for the patterns where that could apply, because it really did just take me to pieces in 8 moves on that one. So thought I'd share. Thanks for watching. See you soon.